Hello and welcome to Food for Thought. I'm Mark Lockridge and I'm the pastor of New Life Fellowship in Letterkenny and the Reformed Presbyterian Church in Milford. It's great to have you with us. Perhaps you've seen the film Braveheart. Do you remember the final scene? William Wallace, the Scottish hero, is about to be executed. He's been tortured and he's suffered his torture in heroic silence. And as the executioner draws near, Wallace indicates that he wishes to speak. And he summons his final reserves of strength to cry out one last great word: freedom! It's inspiring, and yet it's also tragic. It's one last cry of defiance before death triumphs over him. I know it's now Easter Sunday, but I wanted us to look at one more cry from the cross. Perhaps the single greatest cry ever uttered. Jesus has been through physical and spiritual agony, and he gathers his last strength. He takes wine to moisten his lips, and he cries one great word: finished. In English it takes 3 words, in Greek it's simply one: finished. It was not a weak cry of defeat, nor even, like Wallace, defiance. It's a shout of triumph, not tragedy. The cry of a victor, not a victim. It's the single greatest word ever uttered: finished. And it embodies why the gospel is good news and not good advice. Many religions and many religious people will want to give you good advice. Do this, do this, do this, and maybe God will accept you. But the very word gospel means good news. Let me illustrate it this way. If a king goes off to battle and he fights against the enemy and he sends word back saying, bring in the rations, shore up the defences, man the barricades, well, that would be good advice. But if the king sends back the message, I've won, I've defeated the enemy, it's finished, that's not good advice, that's good news. The battle is won, the war is over, victory has been achieved. And that's what Christ is getting at here. That's why he shouts it out. It wasn't simply meant for the soldiers or his disciples. It was meant to ring down through the centuries to us. Finished. But what was finished? All that was necessary for you or for me to be right with God was finished. It was done. See, we stand before God guilty. And I think deep down we all know that. And we're desperately hoping that God somehow has a scheme where he'll take like the top 50% or the top 60% and that we'll somehow just about sneak in. But God has a better solution than that. At the cross, Jesus offers to take all our guilt and all our sin and to pay for it. And on the cross, that's what's happening. He's facing the punishment that our sins deserved for those 3 hours of darkness on the cross. That the Bible speaks of a cup of wrath, a cup of judgment. And Jesus on the cross, as it were, is taking that cup and draining it to the very last drop. And now it's finished. The suffering is over. The cup is empty. No more judgment to pay for his people. And he cries out because he wants his people to know that every stroke of judgment that they deserved has fallen on him. There's nothing left for his people to face. It's finished. It's finished. Jesus has done all that is necessary for any human being to stand before God and to be accepted. It is paid in full. Too many people are led to believe that it's up to them to pay for their wrong and to impress God with their lives. They think the message of the Bible is good advice, and they miss that it's good news. But Jesus has paid. It is finished. It is done. It is paid for. There's nothing more to add. I'm reminded of the story of a farmer who was trying to communicate this to a friend. And no matter what he said, the friend was of the opinion, no, I need to add my bit to what Jesus has done. And at some point in their friendship, the farmer needed a gate, and the friend happened to be a carpenter, and the carpenter made a gate for the farmer. And as he came to fit the gate, the farmer said to him, hold on a minute. And there's this beautifully crafted gate, perfect and finished. And the farmer takes an axe to it and begins to chop at it and to shape it a bit more. And the man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. It was finished. The farmer said, "Oh, but I just wanted to improve it." "Improve it? You've ruined it. You've ruined it." The farmer said to him, "That's exactly the point. What Jesus has done is finished, and anything that we'll add to it would only ruin it." But like any offer, this offer needs to be taken up. Each one of us needs to go to Jesus and say, "Will you pay for my sins too? Make me right so that I can stand before God." And when we ask Him to do that, we'll find that He does that. And that's why this is good news. So don't let anyone change good news into merely good advice for you. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.